Yer, we back. Here we go.
What's
Joining
going
us
on?
today, we got Ashton. We got my boy Ford. His camera's off, but we're gonna talk about what's going on around the NBA. We're gonna hit Knicks Celtics. Then we're gonna see what Knicks Pacers is gonna look like. And we're gonna jump into OKC and the Nuggets series and what Game 7 looks like with or without Aaron Gordon. Then we might get into the draft process, and then with Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks getting the number one overall pick. And then wrap it all up, you see my boy Ashton got the Lakers logo in the back.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course, we're gonna talk about some Lakers today. All right. So to start us off, Ashton, what do you think? Let's get into tonight's game. Cause going into tonight's game, I felt like there was a lot of anxious Knicks fans. Like they have all this pain and suffering over these years. They really were worried about tonight's game. And then from the jump, controlled the game, start to finish, wasn't even close. And I think it all started with Cat. It started with Brunson towards the second quarter, and then game was over after that. So, what's your thoughts on overall the series? Tatum getting hurt and all that.
Well, just to start with tonight, um, I guess even going back to last game, game five, I didn't really understand from a macro view why the Knicks were playing so basically.
Mm,
Um, why is Cat not getting the ball more? Why are they not trying to attack the switches? I mean, I saw a stat earlier that said whenever he gets 20 points during these playoffs, the Knicks are 5-1 and now they're 6-1.
wow.
Um, and and it was just too much predictable basketball. I do think, anytime a superstar as big as Tatum gets hurt, it really does change how teams play. And sometimes there can be a little slight advantage of like, all right, how do we guard this guy? How's the team going to perform? And you got some surprises like Jaylen Brown probably had his best all around game that he's had in a long time, almost had a triple double. And then that allows guys like Fournette to pop off. And also Sam Hauser came back. So, but today's game, Cat went off, and the rest of the Knicks followed suit. Mikal finally got going. He was running plays for both of those guys. So Brunson didn't even have to do Brunson things that much.
Right.
And then second quarter just blew the doors off, and that was that, really.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, going into the series, I must say I had Celtics in five. Right. I just
Of
thought just from the
course.
regular season meetings they had, they swept them. They had a like I think their last game was super close, but other than that, they dominated the matchup. And it was weird too because when the Mikal Bridges trade happened, everyone's like, "Oh, they got two wing defenders to guard the Celtics two wing defenders," and we just never saw that come to fruition during the regular season. And it's like, that's weird. Like if you're gonna pick a team to defend the Celtics, it's gonna be the Knicks. I
Right.
mean, they have size, they have a small guard that could get to his spot at any given time. And I don't know, like I mean I love the Knicks. I just can't get over games one and two. Like the
No.
Celtics up 20 points and they blow it twice. And then game three happens, and game three was, Celtics, what you see in the regular season. And then game four was weird because it up until that point, no team had really gotten off. Like it was been like low scoring games. I think in games one and two, no one got to 100 points or something like that. And then game four, Brunson got like 35, and Tatum was cooking. He had like 44 before he tore his Achilles. And it was like, well, this is what it looked. This is the series we thought we were gonna get. And shout out to
Yeah.
Tatum. Hopes
And
we get the speedy recovery. But
yeah, and the Knicks were up too still
right,
after the Tatum explosion.
all right,
You know, I mean, it's yeah, it is crazy. I'm not the biggest fan of Tibbs from how he manages his rotations and how he manages his offense. And what's weird is historically he usually has a great defense,
right. And he did
but
this
this year
year.
it completely flipped. top three offense and not so stellar defense. Um, I thought this team was going to play kind of how his Bulls teams did, with just hellacious defense between the three wings
Hmm.
and Cat. A lot of people say Cat is soft, but I always thought Cat had more grit than that, especially watching him guard Jokic last year.
Last year, yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
they took Gobert off him. They said, "All right, Cat, you're going to do it," and he won a lot of those battles. Um, but like you said, they had the two wings to match up with Tatum and Brown,
Hmm.
and they had a big man that could kind of feast on a 38-year-old Al Horford and possibly match Porzingis.
All
So,
right.
you know, I guess, and then their depth kind of imploded in a way that was unforeseen because I was like you. I had Knicks, I had Celtics going all the way
All
if they
right.
were healthy.
I think we
But
all do.
yeah, definitely. But then, Porzingis had the respiratory thing. They didn't play
Well,
Pritchard a lot for some reason.
Especially
And
in
then
games one and
Hauser
two when
went
I thought
down.
the game got stagnant. I thought Pritchard could have helped and just
Yeah,
give him a jolt. Especially with, I mean, I love Mitchell Robinson, but if you get him moving left to right, I like Pritchard's chances. You know
of
what I
course.
mean?
Yeah,
Like, I just thought that was a
facts.
weird thing on Joe Mazzulla's part. He was leaning heavily into the two big lineups instead of trying to go a little bit smaller, but it is what it is. I mean, in the end, weirdly, I think the like not the better team won, and I'm happy for the Knicks. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like I
Great for
can't
the city.
describe
Very, very.
Porzingis's respiratory issue. He's had it since
Yeah.
March, early April. It is what it is.
What the hell is it? They say
It
exactly what it
they
was.
don't know what it is. Like he he's on Boston. That's
Not
medical university of the world. Like they have the
look,
best medical professionals, and no one can
not to be
figure it
crazy or
out.
nothing, but Twitter has some funny comments about it.
What they say.
Did they?
Somebody said he had the Magic Johnson, but that's just me.
Oh my
God.
God.
I was like,
Oh
whoa.
God.
Yeah,
No,
so
yeah. It was, yeah, I don't know. You
I don't
know,
even know. I just think the Knicks were perfectly matched up for the Celtics. I said that from the start.
Well,
yeah.
out of all the teams in the East, they had the best chance to nullify the Knicks. I mean,
Hmm.
the Celtics with the two wings. I mean, those OG, he's been elite
Man,
ever since he came into his own and they won the
OG
championship.
can get you 30. McHale can get you 30. Them boys, them elite defenders right there.
Yeah,
Two way.
and yeah, and you know what? I mean, looking at end of the series stats, I don't think they have.
You
Looks
know
like
what?
Basketball Reference doesn't look like they have the stats from today's game. But I mean, Brunson for the series averaged 27 points. Cat averaged 20 and 13. Josh Hart 15. Mikal Bridges 13.
Hmm.
Look,
OG averaged 12, and
I'm,
and
I'm,
even with those low points, I still think they outplayed the Celtics guys. But the
Yeah.
Celtics had three players average 20. Derek White, 22.6. And if you
Underrated.
told me he's averaging 22, I'm like, oh man, the Celtics going to wash these
So
guys.
underrated. Yeah. Yeah, no, that series is just interesting. That's still a head scratcher for me, but I'm happy for the Knicks. The two wing defenders, like you said, I think they weren't consistent enough in their role. Like I thought if they came out how they did tonight, obviously they
Right.
get it done in five. But I mean, shout out
Yeah.
to the Knicks, man. I mean, Mikal Bridges, five unprotected first or four unprotected first. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot, but a two-way lengthy wing is a premium in the league today. And so the fact that you have two of them on your team, and then you have a guy like Josh Hart, I mean, it's a premium. And you saw it today, and you surround that around a small guard like Brunson, who let me shout out to Brunson because in games one, two, and three, they were hunting Brunson every time. And he tried. He might have got scored on, but he was trying. There was effort there,
Right.
and he made a difference. Like if he doesn't get that effort, I definitely think the series isn't what it is, and who knows? Maybe the Celtics come out on top.
Yeah. And, I mean, you're right. And that's another thing. I feel like they should have tried to maybe post him post him up a little more, test his grit, try to wear him down that way. Uh, they were trying to go to Brown, I think, early in the series, and then they just went away from it.
Hmm.
And just okay, okay.
Yeah.
Brunson was excellent at keeping not losing the plot.
Hmm.
I'd say, especially when it came down to crunch time. Uh, and then they just executed more down the stretch. But
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, the clutch player of the year did what he was supposed to do at the
yeah, he
end.
did what he was supposed to do.
They figured they get that game close, Brunson take us
Yeah,
home, and that's what they did.
yeah. And another thing, I didn't think that. I definitely thought the Knicks bench was going to get severely outplayed, but I'd say they at worst played the Celtics to they matched the Celtics bench
Yeah.
depth, but Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, not afraid of the moment. Mitchell Robinson missing free throws, but
Yeah.
airball horrible. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. And then the game where he didn't miss a free throw, they lost. But
Yeah. I mean, he might not hit a free throw, but my God, his plus minus in the series was crazy. I mean, he
absolutely,
was like plus 30 after game two. Like,
yeah,
you know what
that
I
that
mean? Like,
that double
God.
big lineup, man. Yeah,
Yeah. Ford,
going.
you got any last thoughts on Nick Celtics, Celtics future, Tatum, any of that?
Man, be honest with you, they gotta do something. I don't know what they're gonna do with Tatum and Achilles. They gotta do
Yeah, so
something. But I think they gotta get somebody out of there. They gotta get younger too, though. They gotta get
well,
another
let's
younger
get into
big.
that a little bit because the Celtics has been widely reported that they have to shed salary. They're second apron team. But you also got to have a good team when Tatum comes back. Like Tatum's a
Yeah,
27, 28-year-old top six, whatever you want him in the league.
Yeah,
And, at the end of the day, you can't just trade Porzingis, trade White, trade Holiday, but they also have to make the right financial decision. But looking like from the outside in, I don't know how much a 35-year-old Drew Holiday has on the market. I don't know how much. I think Porzingis there's a market for him because I think this playoff series was
and
aberration.
look,
I
the
mean,
Lakers could use them.
Porzingis.
I saw Luka and Porzingis not work out. I'm good on that. But
I know.
You're gonna run it
and
back
I
with.
do think they have to have a question like the most you could get in return is for a guy like Derek White. Could you get two role players and a couple picks for him? Could you get like well maybe you have to test his market out, you know?
Right. One thing I did see that was interesting was that they interviewed Cooper Flagg at the combine.
One
So
name.
are they gonna? I I would not be surprised if there's a conversation about punting on next year, maybe trading, maybe giving a semi motherload deal to the Mavericks. Um,
What's that look like? Brown? You
yeah,
including Brown?
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I got the Celtics
What?
contracts up. They signed Tatum and Brown to basically the biggest contracts ever,
Right.
Yeah.
all the way through, all basically up until 2029. So
Here I could bring it up here
yeah,
too.
oh, yeah. I forgot we can do a share screen. That's right. I mean, their entire starting lineup outside of Derek White, who's honestly probably one of the more consistent players, is making 30 million. So
Right.
yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I'm like, maybe they could pull a Warriors when they got the two pick for James Wiseman.
Right.
You punt on the year. Maybe you trade one of your stars for this guy, and maybe I don't know if they have their picks. So maybe let's say they have a down year, they get into the lottery again. So now going into the following year, you'll get Tatum back, you'll get Cooper back into his sophomore season, and maybe you'll get another lottery guy, and whoever's left, like, I don't know, I'd probably try to keep one of these guys, Horford, maybe they let Horford walk. Maybe, Pritchard. Pritchard could definitely get some value. I could see him being like a Austin Reeves, maybe Jalen Brunson 3 years ago on the market.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, somebody's gonna pay him. That boy gonna get
yeah,
paid.
but he's on contract through 2028 also. So he's got three
Oh,
more
that's
fully
right.
guaranteed. He's got three more fully guaranteed years. So he's got one of the
He got
best
his second
contracts in the
contract.
in the league. He's being paid under 10 million. So yeah, he got it up right now.
The
So
Tatum deal don't kick in until this summer too, or till this next year. Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah, I like that though. I mean, but if you the Mavericks, why you like you just got gifted this? Why are you trading 18-year-old Cooper Flag for Jalen Brown?
I
And
I I,
stuff.
I wouldn't trade Cooper Flag for anybody that's close to 30.
Right.
Um, the only people off the top of my head I'd probably even consider would maybe be Wemby, Luca, or Shea because they're 25 and
And
you know, I wouldn't even trade him for uh, like trading him for Giannis. I just don't like that idea. I just don't like it.
all right.
Trading him, yeah.
No way. That'd be nasty work.
What was that?
80 and Giannis. 80 and Giannis.
I think 80 would have to go to make
Yeah.
the salaries match. But
I mean, I guess you got a point there, but
but I'm with you. Like
just the
that.
thought of
I
it.
mean, just like the idea of that is pretty crazy.
No.
And then you got a sniper like Clay. And then yeah, no, it'd be interesting. I mean, Celtics got a lot of decisions to make. I don't. I do think Porzingis. I do think Porzingis might be the odd man out. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Al Horford said, "Cool, I got the chip. Am I gonna wait another year with Tatum out?" I think he
Yeah.
might just retire. You know what I mean? Look at what Luke Cornett like. He's a free
Yeah.
agent coming up. Like,
I
you
could
know what I
I
mean?
could I could totally and honestly
Yeah,
he
Al might hang it up.
yeah,
Ain't a bad thought.
Al could, or maybe he could sign another, one and done deal until he's decided he's had enough.
Yeah. He
Or
has the
maybe
right to choose. Let me start by saying that. Like he can choose whatever the hell he
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I could definitely see Cornette pushing up into the rotation, them losing Porzingis. I don't know.
I like it, man.
I'd probably try to get off a Holiday, I think.
me too.
And keep the two wings, keep Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and another funny note, like everyone's like, oh, they got cut salary and who knows if they'll be back. But I'm like, I'm looking at the Eastern Conference, I'm like, they could cut Porzingis and not have Tatum for a year. They could still be the sixth or seventh seed in the Eastern
yeah.
Conference. Like,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't think they'll
yeah.
be
Yeah, exactly.
garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they
you know
yeah,
what I
they
mean?
could they could they could be in the mix. They could be in the mix for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with surgery, what if Tatum comes back by like maybe next March? I don't know, but
So that mean Brown got to be playing at MVP level, man.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be
He
interesting.
gonna have
I
to turn it up.
really to me
I mean,
one of the things I wanted to see out of the greatest duos that's ever happened was I just wanted to see Klay Thompson on his own team. That never happened, but now we get to see Brown run his show.
Mhm.
Um and answer some of those questions. Just
yeah, it's gonna be
for like a
interesting.
what if, just for a what if.
Yeah.
These guys don't have anything to prove. I mean,
You think a season by itself? You think he can win MVP? Be in top three at least?
win MVP, I don't see his ceiling being that high, but I think he could probably play himself into like a second team NBA discussion. And
Mhm.
honestly, with this new 65 game rule, maybe he could probably do it because Tatum's out, so that frees up
Yeah.
a spot.
All
So,
right.
so maybe he could, or maybe but you got to think Luca wasn't in this year.
Embiid.
Uh, does
Yeah. Indeed,
Joel
yeah.
Embiid? Yeah, Joel Embiid. He's probably out again next year, honestly.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah,
it's
I'm with you. There's a lot of questions around the Celtics. It'll be interesting to see what they do this summer because, like I said, there's just so much uncertainty. And don't get me wrong, like winning a championship means you never have to say you're sorry. And that Drew
yeah,
Holiday trade, you do it 1,000 times out of 100, 1,000. But at the end of the day, this
Yeah,
time last year, we're like, man, they have a championship window for the next 5 to 6 years. You know what I mean? And
listen, it is truly hilarious to me that as soon as they won the championship, Drew Holiday and all those guys, they signed their contracts, and I'm like, wow, there's no shot. This is, and then, excuse me, they won the championship. I think the deal was confirmed to begin to try to settle of the new ownership, and then Drew Holiday signed or
right,
something along those lines. I thought it was hilarious,
yeah,
but I agree. You keep Tatum and Brown. You gotta free up one of Porzingis or Holiday. Um, I'm not sure how into the tax they are, and then you're talking about repeater taxes. So even if you free up maybe like 7 million, does that save you 70 things like that? So,
yeah,
oh wow, man, this is this is
yeah.
this is the next level stuff right there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with them, but we'll see. We'll see. But I feel like we should, talk about the team that won and then who they're gonna play. Because
Right.
there's a team on the other side that has been waiting for the last couple of days, and Mr. Overrated himself has been on a tear, and
Overrated.
I
Oh my
don't
God.
I don't see that team slowing down anytime soon. And
No.
I will say it's like styles make fights, and I think the Knicks are playing the best basketball they could possibly be playing right now.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think the Pacers are too. So as an NBA fan, you couldn't ask for anything better than this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um what's your thoughts like? Just raw thoughts going into Knicks and Pacers. You don't have to say like how many games you got them in, but like from a matchup standpoint, from a narrative standpoint, to what we saw from what's different from last year's series. Like, what do you think?
Well, regardless, I think it's going. I think the series is going to go long. I
Yeah,
think we're minimum six, unless something catastrophic happens or unforeseen, like we saw with the Celtics Knicks.
yeah,
But but I think the Knicks are more talented for sure. But so I think that's overall why I lean towards them, and I think they would have won last season without the injuries, like we discussed
Mhm.
before. Um, I think just breaking it down position by position, Cat versus Turner are like Cat,
Mhm.
Siakam versus OG Anunoby.
Mhm.
I'm sure Siakam got the better of OG when they were in the Raptors, but now they're both grown and established. I like that matchup. They could probably play each other to a standstill, although I
Right,
think OG should win that.
right,
Mikal should win that.
mhm.
Hart should out produce Nimhart. And then
Mhm.
you got Brunson Halliburton. So, you know,
Yeah,
starting lineup for starting lineup, the Knicks have major advantages. But
yeah.
game style, I definitely think there's going to be one or two games that the Pacers just win by like 30.
Because the
Just because,
pace.
yeah, it's just what they do. They're the most unique team in the
They
NBA.
fast.
Yeah, and they're the most unique team that's left in the playoffs that can still play this fast.
Mhm.
Halliburton might not have the
Yeah.
bag as everyone wants him to have, and
Right.
what's causing him to be overrated, but he's the best in the league at
Mhm.
controlling pace. He's the
Yep.
best.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so weird too because like I mean, you go from like a top 10 like most valuable player like the IQ of Halliburton to matchup hunt, he takes advantage of every mismatch on the court,
Oh yeah,
regardless on how tight the window is. And that's a superpower. He's not averaging the 30, but the way he can control a game and the pace that they run at, it does concern me a little bit for the Knicks that they would like Tibbs will play them all 48 minutes and that pace will tire you out as I think the longer the series, the worse it is for the Knicks only because I think the Pacers play at such a phonetic pace that we haven't seen in playoff history. Usually, when we talk about the playoffs, is the game slows down. What you're gonna do in the
right.
half court. The Pacers are like, all right, we're down 7 with 45 seconds left. How can we miss this free throw and win the game still? Like,
Oh,
it doesn't make sense to me.
and they're gonna come off over a week's rest, like 8 days rest.
8 days rest. I mean,
Yeah, they
New
big
York
them.
I will say Madison Square Garden was special tonight. If that home court advantage might be the difference in this
They've
series.
gone crazy.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh, without doubt.
like kind of like who the Pacers just beat.
Mm-hmm.
They peaked at the right time
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be like the Cavs and peak pre All-Star game. You want to peak. You want to do this. And
Right.
after the All-Star game, they did that, and they're just continue to enter the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Keep coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The Pacers. I will say I wonder if this is a type of series where we see Halliburton try to become more of that scorer like he was in game 5 against the Cavs.
Right.
But I mean, like you said, like Neesmith has been a weird player that you look up, he has like 15 points. And then Nemhard is the biggest playoff riser I've seen in recent memory. He's shooting like some absurd, like 45% from three. He had like 10 assists, like 6 of them in the fourth quarter the other night. You got guys like Obi Toppin, his former team. I'm sure he has a little
Oh
chip on
man,
his shoulder still,
I know he can't wait.
Miles Turner, he's gonna get paid this summer because there's not a big that could do what he do and then still have the defensive lateral quickness. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm super excited. I'm really happy this is the series we got. Um, yeah, it's just gonna be
You know,
insane series.
yeah, and yeah, Halliburton's had a, a hell of a past year too. I definitely think that he gained experience winning the gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
He had the slow start to the season, and then, like I said, last 30 games he picked it up. And going back to the series last year, it it went 7 games. There was the first 2 games were close. Let's see who was actually, what, let me share my screen now. Yeah. Knicks won 2-0 first. Yeah, looks like they were, wow. Were they the same seeds? Were they 2-6 last year too? That's crazy. Here we go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Looks like they were
Mm.
2-6 last year also. Yeah, actually they were, because I remember Thibodeau planning the Bulls like last game of the season, going dumb hard
Hmm.
just to get 50 wins and lock up home. So yeah, first 2 games were Knicks wins, slow, grinded out wins. Pacers go back home, they win one, and like I said, one game they're just going to win by 30, at least
Mm-hmm.
one game,
Right.
and then yeah. So like you said, Nemhard and Neesmith against Brunson. Oh my God, this guy's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to. They're gonna pressure him 94 feet
Mm-hmm.
for the entire series.
Yeah.
Um, Nemhard, he's a playoff performer, like you said. Man, I don't know, man. When it comes to the bench, though,
It's tough.
I feel like Mitchell Robinson could probably outplay Toppin, McConnell, and who else plays off their bench? Matherin,
Mathurin.
and that's
And the
probably
pace though.
Whoa.
yeah.
You think all three of them?
No, I think not all three. I just think his overall production between him,
No.
McBride, and maybe Achua breaks the rotation again. I'm not sure, but just those 2 guys.
No.
I think they're going to struggle with the double big lineup like the Celtics did. Like when
Mm-hmm.
they go Robinson, Cat, two
Yeah.
7-footers
It might be
against.
too slow.
They might be too slow. You think?
I just from a Mitchell Robinson standpoint, like I said, Halliburton's the best matchup hunter in the world.
Right.
And if they like, let's say Siakam goes to the bench, and you bring in Obi Toppin. If I'm a Halliburton, I'm putting Cat in every pick and roll and have him move them feet. I think Cat could do it, and it's up to him.
I think Cat could do it too. I
But
think he could do it
it's up
too.
to the Pacers to make them pay. Because that drop coverage was working beautiful, and then obviously against the Celtics, they went to more of a switching scheme. But
Right.
who do you think? Who do you think is just the X factor? Well, give me an X factor for the Knicks. Give me an X factor for the Pacers.
X factor for the Knicks, I think, comes down to Cat. I think if he just continues to ball out, average 20, 15, they're just gonna win. Because if Turner can't guard him,
No one can.
there's nobody. Then they're gonna send doubles, and then you got everybody in rotation. That makes the game easier for everybody. Then it's the fourth quarter, get the ball to Jalen Brunson.
Right.
Now we're rolling. And then you get the Brunson Cat pick and roll. So I think if he has a good series, the Knicks are gonna be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
For I guess the Pacers, I think one of the advantages of the Pacers is uh I guess to double back what I said earlier when Tatum went down, you don't exactly know who to game plan for
Mm-hmm.
because the offense is so egalitarian, it's democratic. That's the Pacers all the time. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know, like, okay, you're like, if we can just stop Halliburton, we can we're gonna win the game. But
Yeah.
Halliburton's had 5 points and they won by 30.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in theory, the way you stop the Pacers, you gotta attack them as a team and you have to slow them down.
Mm-hmm.
And the Knicks are gonna win that every time, you know.
Right.
And unlike the Cavs, the Knicks are good at it. They're
Mm-hmm.
good at playing slow.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, how would I match up with Halliburton? I'd probably put I, I'm not I'm not sure what the season series was with these guys.
I think it was 2-2, but I think like three of them, like players didn't play type
Players didn't
thing.
play. Yeah,
Yeah. So I
yeah,
don't know. It's gonna be interesting for sure. Like I don't know if like from the Pacers, I don't know who has to be the best player. And I don't think or the X factor. And I don't think it has to be the same person each game. Like I think
right.
one game
And
it
I
could
don't
be
think it will
Benedict
be.
Mathurin. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
and I think from the Pacers standpoint, you kind of like you don't enjoy it, but they played against Donovan Mitchell. Like they won games where a player they're going against has 45 points and they won. So I
right.
wonder if it's just let Brunson beat you and let Brunson have 60. And because I
Yeah,
think I think the more funneled it is to just Brunson, the harder it is for the Knicks to win. Because like you said, I think once if Cat gets going, Brunson's gonna get his regardless. But if Cat
yeah.
not is not getting going, then it's gonna be. I mean Brunson, ooh, we gonna be interesting.
It's definitely going to be interesting. And you're right. I'm just quickly going through their season series. You're right. Like Precious Achua is in the starting lineup. So
Right.
for like their last game, and all the other games are like in 2024.
Yeah.
So they played them early season as maybe it's like a baseball series, like some home and homes or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was no OG in his last game. There was no Mitchell Robinson. But
Yeah.
if I had to match up, I'm kind of thinking like if I'm Thibodeau, I might just put the two wings on Halliburton and Turner and just switch that every time and dare them to give the ball to Turner. And
And you
then
put Cat on
I'd put
Siakam
Cat, I'd put him on Siakam. Yeah,
or Neesmith.
one of the two. If you put him on Neesmith, um, I don't know how much you want to dare Neesmith to shoot after him and Nimhard played out of their body against the
Yeah.
Cavs. Like,
Yeah.
my one of my best homies, he's a Cavs fan, and Cavs and Pacers, that's their biggest rivalry, honestly,
Right.
going back to LeBron days.
Yeah.
And Neesmith and Nimhard, they never play like this. We're talking like dribble, pull up threes. So I don't. I don't know, maybe playing in New York, maybe the energy's a
Yeah.
little different first two games. And I'd probably put him, I'd probably put Count on Siakam. I mean, he guarded KD. Maybe he can guard
Mhm.
Siakam. He
All
guarded
right.
KD last season. So
So you got Bridges or OG on Halliburton to start? Because in
I
my head,
probably,
I kind of lean towards Hart to start on Halliburton, but then I feel like you're not utilizing your wings enough.
yeah. If I'm, I want, I probably, no, I want my two wings because I want to get rid of what I think is the Pacers' best weapon, and that's the Turner Halliburton pick and
Pick and
roll,
pop
pick
or
and
pick and
pop.
roll.
Yeah. So I want to nullify that with my best weapons. And then from there, it's kind of pick your poison. Like Josh Hart guarded Brown a lot of the game today. So he
Mhm.
could guard a big wing. Maybe he guards Siakam
Or maybe he
and,
guards
and
Nemhard
or
and
maybe
just
he
shut
guards
that
Nimhard,
down or tries
you
to.
know, but then I don't know who I want Brunson to guard. Maybe Brunson guards Neesmith. And
Okay,
then
I like that. I like
yeah,
that.
and then maybe Hart on Halliburton.
Hmm.
Um, I think he could do that. So yeah, I probably that's probably where I'd start my conversations. But for sure, my two wings are on their best weapons, and then I kind of pick where I want Cat to be, my help
Hmm.
side rim protector, and then it comes down to Hart and Brunson. That's how I think
Right.
I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm with you though. I do think it's going to be a long series. I think it's going to be interesting just to see how game one, because game ones are, very weird games sometimes. It's like a feel out game. And I
yeah,
just feel like these teams have seen each other so much in the last two seasons that it might not be like that at all. Like it might be a crazy, intense game from the jump and not like a feel out low scoring affair. But
yeah.
I think that if there's ever a time to like Tom Thibodeau is the defensive minded, this is the best offense in the playoffs we've seen in a long time, this Pacers team. And credit,
Right.
players are playing out their mind, right? But you have to give credit where credit's due. Like, no matter how much they're down, they have the confidence and willpower to just come back.
They do.
And
I mean,
so,
they did it to seal the last game against the Cavs. They were down 20 in
mm-hmm,
the first quarter.
mm-hmm,
And their defense, like you usually historically teams like this that are super offensively uh you know tilted
mm-hmm.
are not good defense. These guys are defenders though. These
Yeah,
guys got some
defenders.
dogs that will get under your skin like Matherin did against the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And they got enforcers on the bench if things get too crazy like James
Yeah,
Johnson plus sport.
yeah. No, that's
But
what
yeah,
James Johnson. Okay.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
No,
one of
I do think the longer the series goes, it's kind of more in the Pacers' favor. But if the Knicks could find a way to control the half court, you like they're a very low turnover team, the Knicks, and the Pacers flourish on turnovers and the fast break. So if the Knicks, it's gonna come down if the Knicks could take care of the ball, and if the Pacers could get out running, and yeah, it's gonna be a good series. I'm can't believe they don't play till Wednesday, but
I know. So yeah, the Knicks don't have to travel. They can stay home tonight. Enjoy the city. That's going to be crazy. Uh,
celebrate
and
tonight.
that and honestly, you guys don't know, but NJ Transit, the workers are on strike over here, so people aren't leaving anytime soon either. So
Got
I don't
you.
know. I don't know how long they're going to be partying over here. That they're going back to the conference finals for the first time in 24 years.
20.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna get some rest.
The Pacers been resting.
The Pacers been rested. Maybe they'll be too rusty.
Yeah.
And maybe the Knicks' physicality will surprise them because so far the Pacers just had a series where they out physical the Cavs.
Hmm.
And then they were just out talented the Bucks.
Hmm.
So the
Yeah.
Knicks are going to be able to match their physicality. they're going to be able to match their talent and maybe even exceed it. And as a team, this team is going to be very strategic and very careful and very deliberate. So,
Right.
yeah, like you said, styles make fights.
Yeah. Ford, you got any thoughts before we move on?
No, go ahead.
No, you good? All right. So
Y'all put
next, I
together
feel
really
like
well.
let's talk about this game 7 on Sunday against OKC and the Nuggets.
Oh my gosh.
This
Man,
series
it's
has
gonna be
been
great, man.
everything I thought it would be and a billion times better. It's one of the best series I've ever watched.
Absolutely.
Jokic is absolutely a monster of a player. The Thunder look young at sometimes, and then they look like they graduated a little bit. And then they come back to earth. So I really like going into Game 7 for the Nuggets. This is I think I saw something earlier today. They've played the most Game 7 since 2018.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So this is nothing new to them. They just had a Game 7 against the Clippers and a dogfight series, kind of similar to this. Like, Kawhi was balling, Zubac was this, and then they are winning by 40. You know what I mean? So what what is what does Game 7 look like? And let me first off by saying if Aaron Gordon doesn't play, I don't think they have a chance because what he's done defensively and offensively, I
Yeah.
would argue has been on par with Jamal Murray as the second best player or better than Jamal Murray.
I mean, Aaron Gordon as his player brand is athletic, do it all wing.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really shoot. But this series, he's shooting 35% from the three. Are
He
you
shot
serious?
42% for the season.
42% for the season, and he's even better now in the playoffs. Like you talk about, I mean, this guy's like, yeah, I don't know, Jen Wu or something. Like he's just
There's no
improving.
replacing him, right? Like there's not
Yeah,
a player that's
no,
yeah.
yeah, he's 15 and double double. I mean, s- he he's he's questionable at least.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I feel like in the regular season he might have been labeled doubtful, but I don't know. You know, Rick Adelman, he's really impressed me. I'm sure he's doing his family lineage. Or excuse me, David Adelman.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rick was his father. I'm sorry.
Yep. No,
So
you
yeah,
good.
yeah. So yeah, he's really impressed me. I've liked what I've seen from him in huddles, and I've liked
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen from him schematically.
Yep. I think he
And
deserves the job
yeah, I think so.
after
I
the
think
season.
so too. I think so too. Um, if Gordon plays, I think the Nuggets should win. I think the Nuggets should win. Like
Mm-hmm.
this this OKC team, they're so young, and the way the playoffs are so different from the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Game 7 is different from the series.
All right.
The pressure is going crazy. Everybody's watching this game.
At least they're at
Uh,
home. I will say if they were on the road, I'd say it's over. Like no
yeah,
chance.
at least they're at home. But on the other end, I mean, they just got I don't want to say mollywopped, but they got decisively beat
Mm-hmm.
against in Game 6. Jokic is averaging 30, 14. Murray's averaging 22.
Yeah.
Wow. Jalen Williams, I don't know. I hope he's not on the internet right now because they're killing him.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing him.
So no, let's get into that because I mean, yeah, I think he's the elephant in the room right now because in the regular season, what made OKC so good is that well, two things. Jalen Williams looked like he could be that second star. He was an all-star this year. And their three-point shooting. Right now, I think Shea's shooting 25% from three, and I don't think nobody else is shooting much better. Like their three-point shooting has plummeted, and their supposedly second best player on offense isn't producing at all. Like he's almost a zero.
Yeah. Now, the OKC's biggest question mark, I'd say, well, their two biggest question marks are still question marks. It was, will their youth show, and how stagnant will their offense be, like it was against the Mavs last season?
Mm-hmm.
It just became the Shea show and the nobody else show. And like you just said, I mean, talk about like Aaron Gordon career, what I don't know, under average shooter.
Mhm.
Caruso's their best shooter percentage wise,
Right.
shooting 44%. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
he's been massive for the series. I
Are you
honestly, I
serious?
think if they don't have Caruso, I think the series is over in 6 or 5 for the Nugget.
Yeah,
Caruso's just been that good. Like,
he he's been remarkable. I mean, he's really been the leader of this team, I'd say. Um, you know, but I I I I I think you're right, man. Thank God they're home, but I just feel like, man, that ball's gonna be tight.
hmm
That ball's gonna be hot, rather. That ball's gonna be hot. Like, oh, I don't want it. Here, you do it.
hmm
Chat Holmgren, first game 7. I think it's all their guys' first game 7. Maybe
Yeah.
not Shea. I mean, he might have played a game 7 when they had Chris Paul and
Oh yeah, in the bubble.
Dennis Schroeder back in the bubble, but
Yeah. I think they did against the Rockets.
against the Rockets, that was a great. I think you're right. That was a great series. Um, and then yeah, and like if you make a couple of mistakes, the crowd's not gonna be in. The crowd's gonna be dead.
Right.
And then Jokic and Murray gonna be doing Jokic and Murray things. Christian Brown's gonna be
I mean, if Christian Braun does what he did in game 6 and then they get MPJ or Julian Strawther to do what they did in game 6, it's over. Because
it's
I
over,
think
man.
Jokic can take his game to another level. He was good enough yesterday to win, like, I mean, what, 29, 14, and 6 or something. And that's just okay. Like, that's crazy. But
Wow.
he knows what's at stake. I think also from like a good rule of thumb, game 7, you want the best player. And I
Yeah,
think it's been pretty
for one
apparent
game.
whether whether Jokic wins the MVP or not. I think it's been consistent that he's the best player in the world right now. And it's I don't even think it's really that close, to be honest
I
with
don't think
you.
so either.
Like
I
I
don't think so
think
either.
there's a gap that
Mm.
we haven't seen in a while, like from the Curry and the Bronze and the KDs. But I think Jokic is on track to do something super special. If I'm OKC, I ride my home crowd and I cannot let this game close. Because if that young team gets in a close game with the Jamal Murray and Jokic 2-man game,
They're gonna lose.
they're gonna lose. And it won't
So
be particularly close.
like to me, I'm like I, I'm I feel like I'm really starting to talk myself into the Nuggets winning and I feel like it's also killing me as a Lakers fan because of what they.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, just the more I talk about the Nuggets, I'm like they got the experience. They've got they're starting to peak at the right time too,
hmm
and I'm just like I don't know, and they have the key to win. I'm like,
hmm
how does a Thunder victory look?
I
I know
think
how the Nuggets are gonna win. How are the Thunder gonna win?
I think it looks like J Dub has like 14 in the first quarter, and but they're like 6 of 12 from three in the first, and then they ride that. Because I will say, in game 2, the game was close for a little bit. Then Caruso came in, got 3 stops in a row to break out dunks and threes, and if
I'm
that
like,
crowd's behind them, it's really deflating. I mean, OKC is one of I think the hardest places to play.
yeah,
They wear the shirt. I think that's dope.
yeah, just
Um,
the sea of blue. Hmm.
and honestly, your role players play better at home. So if Julian Strawther and Christian Braun aren't making shots, it's gonna come down to making shots. What others can make the shot? Is it gonna be Jay Will? Is it gonna be Chet? Is it gonna be Strawther, MPJ, Murray? Because I know what Jokic is gonna do. I know what Shea's
Yeah,
gonna do. I know what the MVPs are gonna do. But what are the others gonna do?
yeah, we do. I
You
mean,
know?
I'm if I'm Mark Dagnall, I guess how short of a leash does Dort have? Do I want to get Caruso in as fast as I can?
I think if I'm it depends how the game goes. Because he's the reason why they won game 5.
Yeah,
Like
I mean
if
he
he
had
doesn't
three
come in
threes and
and
like back to
yeah,
back to back.
yeah,
Oh my God, that was crazy.
yeah. So I think it's interesting from that standpoint. I think an interesting thing from the regular season, the postseason is The Thunder loved running Chet at the five in the regular season. Loved it. Every time Chet's at the five this series, he's getting killed. He's getting absolutely killed by Jokic.
Yeah, you can't do it. I mean,
And Hartenstein's in foul trouble. I mean, if Hartenstein's not in foul trouble, I mean, if I well, maybe Mark can go to a lineup where Isaiah Joe hasn't got much take. Maybe like go all offense for a couple possessions and just see and leave Chet at the five instead of having like a door and Chet. You know what I mean? So they can't help.
I'm really not sure how Mark's gonna play this because this is
Mm-hmm.
his first game seven. Also,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I really want to know if he's gonna overthink it or underthink it. I wonder if he's just gonna say, "All right, I played 10-man rotation basically since I became a head coach in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll stick with it." Or maybe this is when he finally shrinks his rotation, and just plays. I don't know.
It's hard for me to like just see him shrink the rotation because I look at who they have. Like I love Case and Wallace getting minutes. I love Caruso getting minutes. I love Big J Dub on Jokic this series.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
you know what I
you
mean? I
got
think
Aaron Wiggins.
Aaron Wick. I think he. There was a couple plays in game six where they got the defense moving. It was a swing, the same wing three that we see Aaron Wiggins hit all the time in the regular season, and it was a miss. If two or three goes in, it's a 1 point game. You know,
Yeah.
does he make those at home? I can't tell you because the
Yeah.
pressure and the stakes are going to be so high.
Yeah. When I say cut the rotation, I'm like, does he cut like two guys out? Like Isaiah Joe, you said Isaiah Joe. I'm not sure if I'm playing Isaiah Joe in this
Right.
matchup.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely considering playing my big three, if you want to call them that,
Mm-hmm.
over 35 minutes.
Oh, have to,
Yeah,
have to.
because I don't know how many times that's even happened. Like last game, it didn't happen. Like Chet barely got 30. He got 30 over by
Right.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can I cut out maybe big Jalen Williams minutes, give them more to him?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hardenstein played 25, Case and Wallace played 26. So maybe just take out all of Joe's minutes, give them to one of those guys,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
I do wonder, like, what does it look like hypothetically if J Dub don't look good early? Like, if I'm Mark, I'm just putting Caruso in that spot or Case and Wallace. And
yeah,
but I also feel like you gotta. I mean, he struggled in that game five that Lou Dort hit all those threes. He airballed a three, and then when the game was tied with under a minute left, he's the one that hit the go away three.
yeah.
So
I don't think Mark's the type of guy to make that move.
mhm,
I mean, he did sit Dort for
an extended
uh
period of time.
yeah, but
Hmm.
I can't see him sitting Jalen Williams.
Yeah,
I can't
uh,
see him doing that.
right out
Um
with your guys.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Final prediction. Who you got?
Final predictions. Well, right now they're -8 to win.
The
OKC
Nuggets.
is -8. At least last time I checked, which was this morning. I think that's unbelievably massive.
And
Uh,
for a game seven, and Jokic is the best. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, we'll see if the line has moved at all. I might have to take +8 Nuggets.
Maybe that's because of the Aaron Gordon. I will say
Maybe.
I don't think they have a chance if Aaron Gordon doesn't play though. I
Yeah,
really
I
don't.
agree. I agree.
No, they
I
don't have a
mean,
shot.
I agree. They're just not going to have enough production or enough players. I
But
mean,
also though, if Aaron Gordon does play, it's a hamstring. Stephen Curry was just out with this injury for a week. Like is like he's been playing phenomenal defense on Shea. Like excellent. And he's a forward and
Oh, we hunt that mismatch.
you know what I mean? Like if
yeah,
he
Shea's
does
going to
play,
test him out.
like when if you're David Adelman, like he's getting fried, do you put your pride aside or you right out with the five that got you here?
Man, you
I'm for sure riding out with this five. I'm for sure riding out with this five. I mean, I don't think that's how the Nuggets have played
Mm-hmm.
really all this season and a little bit of last season. And I don't see if Gordon you're on the court, I'm going to play like you're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what you have to do as a coach. And if I see you start grabbing your hamstring and doing this, all
Mm-hmm.
right,
Cool.
Peyton
We'll go
Watson.
from there.
I'm probably putting Peyton Watson in first
I
just to
agree.
hold up the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And
You, you'll know he'll at least give you that, right?
yeah, and then when it's time for Murray to come out or Jokic, then I'm like, okay, let me get Strother or maybe Westbrook in.
So we didn't even talk about him yet, and it's been a big conversation in our chat. Michael Porter Jr. Like, I think the reason why um they won the game because they benched him for Julian Strother,
Yeah,
who literally played the exact same role, exact same spots, but they had to guard him because he was making them. Like,
yeah.
what happened? Like the funniest thing would be like Michael Porter Jr., Russell Westbrook, and Peyton Watson all go nuts on Sunday, right? And it'd be like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be shocked at all if that's just what happened. Like Michael Porter Jr. like 6 threes and Russell Westbrook 3 of 5 from three. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
but like,
know.
what do you
Yeah.
do? Like what if Michael Porter doesn't have it? Then your rotation shrinks more because that'd be two starters potentially out.
Then you just dead in the
Yeah.
water. You're just dead in the water. You're just dead in the water. I mean, granted, both of those guys were not big scorers last game, but like you said, Gordon played defense. I mean, it was the Jokic, Bron, Murray show, and then Stroud.
Miss
Those are
Robert.
the only guys that really had 15 and above points. Um, so if Gordon plays, which I think he's for sure going to try to,
Mm-hmm. 100%.
he's for sure
Knowing
going to for
him
sure
and
going to try to. I can kind of see him. I mean, he didn't even shoot the ball that last game. Maybe he can just play like less on ball, like he's been doing uh these this series, and just say, okay, Mary Brown, you take it up.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to conserve my I guess my high mobility moments for defense.
Mm-hmm.
MPJ, I'm not sure. Dude, you need to do more than score. You're 6'10, you
Mm-hmm.
got a 35-inch vert, get a rebound, block a
Mm-hmm.
shot, do something.
Right.
But
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be at least we know what Jokic is gonna do. And I don't know what that's gonna look like, but we might be talking about Monday morning. Jesus, the Jokic just really go for 55, 22, and 10, and I wouldn't be shocked at
he's going
all. You
for a
know what I
triple
mean?
dub.
Yeah.
He's going for a triple dub. Jokic probably. I think Jokic plays 45 minutes.
Yeah. I think you
He might.
have to. I mean,
He
in,
might
in
even
a
keep
weird
going.
way, and with all due respect to all the other teams, tomorrow on the way feels like, or not tomorrow, Sunday feels like the championship.
Yeah,
Like the winner of this series, I think has a really, really should be favored to win the chip, regardless of. I mean, I think whoever wins would beat the Timberwolves. And I think they would have a really good shot to beat the Pacers or the Knicks.
yeah.
So
I can't. It's going to take some divine intervention for the East to beat any of these three remaining teams, I think.
right.
Um, but I do agree. The Timberwolves against the Nuggets,
Who's had the Nuggets number?
they've had the
You
Nuggets
know, I
number.
mean, they going back to Game 7 last year. The Nuggets were up 18 points in that game last year in the Game 7, and they stormed back to take the game. So
Yeah,
I'm sure that's on
yeah,
Jokic's mind too.
yeah. I I'm not so sure. Like I was telling you earlier, I think if the Nuggets did make the finals and the Knicks make it, like I think they will, I think the Knicks have the best at all the remaining West teams. That's the only team they can beat because I think they'll just literally fall apart.
Right.
Like Gordon's shoulder will be even worse. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Porter.
Porter's shoulder will be even worse,
Mm-hmm.
and then Gordon's hamstring. I
Who
it's
knows by then?
Yeah. How many times is it going to get re-aggravated before it just becomes a straight up tear?
Well, that means he would have had to play against Julius Randle, who's having the playoffs of his life. I mean,
Definitely
give
the
credit where
playoffs of his
credit is
life.
due. I mean, Julius Randle's been balling.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm less confident that the Nuggets can really beat them. But you know, they don't have Cat. They don't have Cat. They don't have 2 7-footers.
Right.
They only got one this time, and that one can for sure not guard Jokic.
Right.
But let's it
Before
would
we
be
get
a
there, so you
oh my
you got
God.
Nuggets winning.
If Gordon plays and he's you
Optimal.
know let's say if he's at least like he was like last game,
Mm-hmm.
just I don't need him
Enough.
scoring 20. He's just
Right.
a player that is going to play great defense, get rebounds, assist, play make. I got him winning. I got them winning.
Yeah. I think I gotta agree with you. I mean, I love OKC. I love their roster, but I do think what's going to end up being their undoing is not turning some of those 9th, 10th, 11th players that could be useful on a bad team and turning them into a for
Yeah.
sure thing. Like, it's just crazy. Like, they average so many threes in the regular season, and their shooting has just taken off a cliff. It makes no sense to me. Um, yeah, I'm curious. I think the extra day, like, I think if they played tomorrow, give me OKC all day, every day. But I think the fact that they get 2 days off, and they just got Jokic. I have no like statistical
Yeah.
nothing. They just got Jokic,
No,
man. Like,
no, man. I think Game 7. This is going to be OKC's first Game 7,
mhm.
really, since they've had Westbrook and
With this
KD.
team, period. Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I think
What's up?
OKC going to
You think they're
I'm
going
gonna
to
be honest
win?
with you. I think I think Shea is gonna have one of those games that I told Black he need to have, one of those 7 games. One of them games he ain't had one of them games yet.
Yeah.
I think this might be
He
it.
hasn't had one of those games.
One of them games.
I don't.
I'm talking like in the playoffs. This is a game. So this is a big
Oh,
game.
you mean like a signature game,
Like
Yeah, like a
Like
signature
like
game.
I'm
One
the
of
LeBron,
them,
like
MVP.
one of
yeah,
them,
like LeBron
yeah,
game
one of them
6 again.
45, 10, and 6. Something not too crazy like that, but you know what I'm saying. One of the
Okay,
ones that you remember, like,
that
wow, he really, what I'm saying. He showed up and went. You know, I don't know. I think
I
so.
think they
I
could
think they can
still
do
lose
it.
a game. He has a stat line like that though. I
Because
like truly
Denver,
believe it's gonna be
yeah,
up to the others. Because if the others make shots, if they make shots like they did in the regular season, it's not gonna be close. Like, it's
yeah.
not gonna be close. But I think that the fact that they've been able to slow him down, it's been
Yeah, I just don't have the faith that that'll happen. I think that the moment, I just think the moment will be too big. I think the moment will be too big. These guys are young, they're inexperienced against the most experienced team in this situation with the better player,
mhm.
and I think with a more consistent formula to win. But if, we'll see. Maybe crowd injuries. We'll see.
What do you say?
don't bench don't do nothing for me. I don't like it. I don't like that bench. They don't do nothing for me. And it hurt.
Who's
I just
that?
don't see. I don't know. We'll see.
That the
Denver.
Nuggets? Oh yeah.
You don't like Denver's bench?
Yeah. We'll see. I
Yeah.
don't like it. No.
I mean, another immature thing that they did too, like on Shay's part, they're up 12 with 2 minutes left in game 6, and you know, Shea picks up his fourth foul, goes to the bench. Denver immediately goes on a 12-0 run. You
Yeah.
go up 10 in a closeout scenario. I
Try
don't
to
know. I
make the
think they're
play.
gonna be kicking themselves for that. I mean,
Yeah.
the game was
Yeah.
right there. It felt like I was watching. I was like, "Oh, is this the game they graduated? Like they won that game 5, and then Shea got that foul, that fourth foul, went out of the game, and it never felt the same after that. They lucky Dort hit that three to go up 3 at the half, but it didn't mean nothing to start the fourth or start the
No.
third. So
And yeah, and you know what? They're gonna like us. It always goes back to how they're gonna value the possessions, and they won that quarter by I think 11.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I I think this is gonna be uh hopefully it's an all time one. And if Jokic ends up winning this series, man, this guy's unbelievable. Again, for the millionth time.
Jokic, if they go on to win the chip, it's it's gonna be There's gonna be some stuff said, man. I will say that there will be some uncomfortable conversations. Like, where
There
does
will
this
be.
guy stack up? I mean, he got the coach got fired, the GM's fired. Like,
Yeah,
he
and
got
people thought they were done then, and then they
right.
beat. I'll be honest, I thought the Clippers were going to beat them because I thought the Clippers matched up so well with them. Like single defenders, Zubac matched up great with him. Ended up outplaying him, and Kawhi was Kawhi. Kawhi was outplaying Jokic in the
Mm,
beginning of the series,
mm.
and then James Harden. I'm like, okay, James Harden is still here, and then it ended up flipping. They ended up flipping, and then I'm like, okay, well, OKC, they're younger, they're deeper.
And the schedule. I mean, every other day. Tomorrow's the first 2 days rest they've had in a month and a half.
Yeah, and they've
Like,
played. What was the stat? They played. Is it 17 games in 19 days or something? Something absurd.
it's something crazy like that. They've played every other day since
Yeah, man. The
like
playoffs are
April
the playoffs are
16th
too
or
much,
so.
man. The
All
playoffs.
right. Well, we know what we're gonna get into on Sunday. I think it's gonna be an all-time game.
Oh yeah.
Let's shift gears to some teams that aren't playing. And this is an interesting conversation because I was, I don't care what anybody says, that Nico Harrison trade was the worst trade I've ever seen. And
Right.
then he fell ass backwards into the number one pick this year, and he looks like a super genius. Like, I don't know what we're talking about here. What are your thoughts? What went through your mind when you saw Cooper Flagg and the number one overall pick is with the Dallas Mavericks?
Dude, I I can't believe this guy got away with it again. And you know what he's gonna say? He's gonna say this was all part of the plan. We got a
Mm-hmm.
defender. Uh, just like how he was praising himself for trading for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford and
Mm-hmm.
taking a chance on Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Those were one of those was a mistake too, because remember he tried trading for Kuzma
Mm-hmm. And Kuzma
and he
said
couldn't get him.
no.
And if he got Kuzma, oh my gosh, how bad would they have been?
Right. We seen what
So
Kuzma was this year from Milwaukee.
yeah, oh my gosh. So and then that's when they pivoted to the Daniel Gafford, and then it was just 48 minutes of lob threats,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah.
Right.
But I mean, Cooper Flag, this kid, I'm I didn't really watch college ball, but it does not take you a long time to see the talent this kid has, and he just turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
He's unbelievably young, and he's going to be such an impact player to start. I mean, where do you even what do you want him to do? He can do it. He can be
Mm-hmm.
a secondary ball handler.
Mm-hmm.
He can initiate. He can finish plays. He can be a good cutter. He can shoot. He can ISO a little if you need him. I mean, he's 6'9". He can set
Handle the
picks.
ball.
Yeah, and like, what do you want him to do on defense? He's six
Mm-hmm.
nine. He can jump and he can move side to side. So, and
Mm-hmm.
he can cover ground as a help defender. I think he can guard in space as a primary defender. You know, jack of all trades. Like
He's one of the
and
most complete prospects we've seen in the last
yeah,
15, 20
I
years.
was literally about to say that. I did an exercise earlier this week with one of my guys I coach with, and we pulled
Mm-hmm.
up the last 10 prospects. The only prospect that was clearly above him was Wembanyama,
I
and
mean,
the other guys that matched him, they just matched him. Everybody else, he was so much better than. And I'm talking first picks over first
right,
picks.
right.
Like the only guys that I think really matched him in terms of coming out of college as a prospect was Ben Simmons and Carl Towns. Everybody else, he was just
Wow.
better than like
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards. I'll take Cooper's profile over Ed Edwards. He's 6'9", two-way. You always go with the taller guy that can do
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Not with you on the hype, but I mean, the hype has been. I mean, maybe it was COVID and all that, but when Ant was coming out, it wasn't like, oh my God, like this is the number one overall pick. Like
Yeah,
this year, it's like, oh, it's Cooper Flag or nothing. The hype around Zion, just from a hype standpoint, I would say is probably what matches Cooper a little bit.
yeah.
But
I'm still
Zion
taking
was
Cooper over him.
never. yeah, Zion's not the Cooper
Mm,
Flag, like just from an evaluation standpoint, he's not bad at anything.
right.
Right? He's decent or good at almost everything.
Mm.
And I mean, I've seen comparisons like he's like Tatum. And
Only,
Tatum is
only in body. Only in
right,
body. I think as a
right.
prospect, he's better than Tatum. I think as a
Yeah,
prospect, he's better than Tatum coming out.
100%.
And you're a Duke fan, so you definitely watch all these guys, all these Duke guys more than me. Like, even in comparing him to Tatum, I think he's got a shiftier handle than Tatum had,
Mhm.
and playmaking, he's definitely above Tatum. He's
At
ahead
coming in, yes.
coming in. He's above Tatum in that too. So yeah, this guy, there's not that many prospects that are this young too. He's not even 19.
Right.
He's not even a true freshman. Like, I don't even know if this guy reclassed or something, but he should be
Mhm.
19 coming out. He's 18. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I
The
don't.
Mavericks, and
Yeah.
he fits so well when they're fully healthy.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how you. I don't. If I'm flying in from, I don't know how you're gonna score on anybody in Texas. Those
Mhm.
Texas trips that you go on when you play Houston, Mavs, Spurs, I don't know how you're gonna score.
If the
You're gonna,
Spurs get Giannis.
oh my shit, man. Even if they don't get Giannis, like
Right. Yeah, it's true. Still
Wembanyama,
Wemby.
Fox, I think they keep Harper. Those
I
guys
love
can
Harper.
guard, and then you
Love
go to
Harper.
Houston.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I will say yeah, so let's get into that. Like Mavs realize this is such a gift that they've gotten, and they can
they better not
undo.
trade it. They
And
better
I
not.
and I don't even think Luke Cooper will ever be the offensive player Luke is, right? Like it's
No,
not like just a complete everything's okay, but having the number one overall pick and one of the best drafts we've seen in the last 15, 20 years is you can cope with that. So
he'd be the number one pick in more drafts than he wouldn't be.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
this guy is going to be special. His floor is so high.
His floor is so and when you're drafting, I think people try to draft so much upside and they could get sucked in the trap. I mean, sometimes it's okay to just draft somebody with a super high floor, like
Right.
superstar. There's only like four superstars in the league. There's a bunch of all-stars, there's a bunch of really good players, but there's only three or four superstars. At times it's
Right.
okay to just get the safe option and I think he's better than a safe option. I want to say that, but
Yeah.
like
I totally think so. Just to touch on that real quick before we get into the other prospects. GMs usually, I think, try to go young because one, that's you're drafting off potential, and two, I guess I think if it works out, you might have more of an out.
mhm,
Like I did what I was supposed to or something.
right,
It just didn't work out. And then if it doesn't work out, they'll just fire the coach and get a new one.
right,
So they can just blame it on the coach for not developing the guy right. I don't know.
right. And
But
then this is a rare, like you said, like I mean, I hope Kyrie, rehabs quick, but like this is a championship ready team. Like, and
it's
when's the last time we see?
yeah.
I don't since Magic. Like, when's the last time we seen a number one overall pick go to a good team? Like,
Magic, that's a good pull. That's a good pull. It's definitely before there was two mergers. There's been two
right,
mergers since then. So yeah,
yeah,
the league was a lot smaller back then.
mhm.
And honestly, man, like this team is so stacked. I was like, it makes their bench deeper too. Like what's their starting lineup? This guy could play the two. And if you make
I was gonna say I'm crazy like that. I'm going Kyrie, Coop, PJ, 80, Lively, or Gap. And
that's
I do see a lot of people um say they think PJ and Gafford are probably gonna get traded for just some more depth, a backup PG, this, that, and the fourth. But I'm like,
mm,
Cooper could play at the two and you're 6'9" with all that.
oh,
Ah,
dude, and what's crazy? That's what I would do. That's what I would do. But just to make spacing work, maybe you think about Clay. who knows? But PJ is their best defender on the
Right,
perimeter. So,
right.
you put, dude, PJ on your best guy with Cooper, AD, and Lively. Oh man, God,
Yeah,
dude, that's the most disgusting defense
yeah.
I think I've heard. I can't even think of a team that could compare to what you envision. And if you probably start Dinwiddie, that's another 6'6" guy who can guard.
Mhm.
You
Well,
know,
Kyrie's out.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, man, it's crazy. And then off the bench, you're bringing Hardy and Klay Thompson.
yeah.
Wow.
It's a good team. It's a good team.
You know what this team and Jason Kidd is a good coach for this team because it kind of reminds me of his early Bucks days when they
Mm,
had the guys, they just drafted guys that could hug the world or like hug a tree, like with John Henson, Giannis, Thon
Thon
Maker,
Maker. Yeah,
yeah, Middleton, like I think they even had did they have Michael Carter Williams? Anyway, like they just had all
yeah,
these super long guys, man.
yeah. Chat. Hey, Mavs fans should be happy, man. I mean, they should be happy. They should be blessed. I really don't see them trading it. Especially on a cost control deal like a rookie salary. How important that is with the aprons and all that.
Oh, and that's just another thing. That's really one of Presti's best attributes is because the way you maintain being good with this apron stuff is you stagger your heavy contracts or your most prized contracts. Like, uh, yeah, ideally you're paying one or two max guys, and your third best player or even your second best player is not on a max deal. And then by the time he gets up, maybe you can rotate out of one of the other guys, so on and so forth.
Right,
So
right.
the Mavs are already set up like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's gonna be Mavs fans should be excited. I'm excited to see Cooper Flagg play and what it beholds. But let's talk about the rest of the draft because I do think it's like the Spurs had the last two rookie of the years. Like it's not like
Oh my
they're
God.
not set. They were just hurt and they just traded for De'Aaron Fox. Dylan Harper is a monster. He could be Cade Cunningham. I've seen a lot of comps to him. He could be Cade, less of the offense, but more of the defense, and that's scary because they already got Fox and Castle and
Yeah.
Wembanyama. Like, what's your thoughts on like? Do you think it's Dylan Harper? Do you think it's Ace Bailey? Do you think it VJ Edgecombe? Like, who do you think it is?
Well, if I'm the Spurs, let me just say I think it's Dylan Harper for sure. And my
Mhm.
biggest regret as a guy that as he came up in Jersey is I didn't see him enough when he was here because he went to high school here and he went to college here. Um, but I think it's him. I think if I'm the Spurs, I'm definitely having a meeting about trading him or pairing him with a star like Giannis.
Mm,
But I'm totally fine
right.
with having three of my four best players on rookie contracts. Are you
Mm,
serious?
100%.
And he fits immediately with the starting lineup. You don't even have to trade anybody. You don't have to trade Fox if you don't want to. He can play either one. He can play the two, and you can play him with Castle. Um, and if you really want the teams, I guess, to make sense, you could put Castle off the bench, start Fox,
Right.
Harper, uh, Devin Vassell, who I love,
Yeah.
Wembanyama, and Jeremy Sohan, and then off the
Yeah.
bench you got Chris Paul, Castle,
You let Castle just run him
and
up.
just let Chris Paul do other point guard stuff and say, okay, Castle, do this, and that. I'll throw you a lob, come off his down pick. I'll just make your life easy.
Hmm.
I think I would lean towards that if I'm the Spurs coach, and just have Castle play with the two old guys, Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul.
Hmm. Oh,
Calvin
and Harrison
John, they're
Barnes.
so deep too, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, I think they could for sure. I think they'll sign some more veteran shooting. Like I could see like a Gary Trent wanting to go over there if he doesn't get money from Milwaukee. I could see like a I don't know, like a Seth Curry, just some like just pure
Right.
shooting.
Yeah, just kind
Um,
of, kind of like what the Pistons did with Cade Cunningham, his comp.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like the Malik Beasley's. I will say like with the Dylan Harper thing, Spurs, don't be like the Warriors when they had that draft when they picked Wiseman because he fit better.
Two
Like
timelines.
like the two timelines. Like
Yeah.
LaMelo was there. Everyone knew they should have taken LaMelo, and
Here's the
don't be that just because you
yeah.
got Fox. Fox is great, right? Would I have paid Fox a max?
No.
Probably not, right? But listen, if Fox doesn't work out at the deadline, you know what you could do? Trade him for
You
more
can trade
stuff
him.
and give him the keys. Give the keys to Dylan Harper because I think Dylan Harper ceiling is a lot higher than De'Aaron Fox. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's bigger. He holds up. I mean, the question everybody should be asking of their team is really of their starting lineup is one, can they get hunted on defense
mhm,
and can they get ignored on offense?
all right,
And I think Harper projects to answer those questions better than Fox.
all right,
Um, and and I definitely think Fox he's clutch, right? I think he's definitely a Rich
yeah,
Paul guy, the most
mhm,
powerful agent in the game. So there's definitely a handshake agreement to get his guy paid.
all right,
I'm hoping that agreement is fulfilled because I would definitely look into trading Fox too.
yeah,
And then I could play my backcourt of the future with my future best player in
mhm,
Wembanyama. And then I really like Sohan too. I think they should make time for Sohan.
yeah. I
These
mean, a
guys are
rookie backcourt of Harper and Castle is one of the most disgusting things you could ever dream of. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
They
Harper is one of those players that like. Look, I think he would have went ahead of Scoot Henderson in that draft. I think he would have went ahead of a lot of these guys that are like these rangy athletic guards that people like, and I think he just would have went ahead of a lot of them just because of the size and the defensive factor.
Yeah, his touch, his pace. I mean, he comes from I mean, his dad was a hell of a defender, you know,
Hmm.
and a champion. I'm sure he taught both his sons, who both went to Rutgers,
Hmm.
how to play the right way. And he's going to one of the best organizations you can go to that's gonna do things the right way, teach you the right way. I mean, the Spurs continue to spur, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And Chris Paul is on this team.
Right.
So you can learn from him. Are you serious? And
Yeah.
Fox is on his team. Like
Yeah.
Harper, dude, Harper's gonna learn from one of the best point guards of all time, one of the current best point guards of all time.
Right.
Pop is there, Tim Duncan still comes around, Ginobili still
Ginobili.
comes
Yep.
around. Like, dude, this guy's so set up
Yeah.
to reach his potential. And
Yeah.
again, you talk about high floor, his floor is super high.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Good players don't get drafted to bad organizations, man. Only sometimes. But I just want before you move on, I just want to touch on something you said with the maybe like having the meeting about the Giannis thing. Um, I love the Giannis fit with Wemby. My only thing is if they don't win in 3 or 4 years when Wemby is probably the best player in the league and they still haven't won, I think it speeds up the timeline and puts a lot more pressure on them to win. And if they don't win, does Wemby look around after you traded all the fun stuff and like nobody's here? Giannis is 36. Is there
yeah,
potential to leave that rather than take the young guy, take the or keep all your youth and just grow like that? Because I do think if they got the number one pick, I don't even think Giannis is on the table. I think they just run it out with Cooper Flagg and
I would.
do, or do they try to get like is there a conversation? Do they try to move up to one? Do they just overload with like overpay?
Dude, I would 1000% do that before I trade for Giannis.
100%.
Dude, Coop and Wemby,
With Fox?
insane. Insane. I don't know what the deal is going to be, but whatever they have to give up, they're still
Right,
going to have so much. I
right.
mean, the talent these guys have, the only guy over 30 is Chris
CP.
Paul and Bismack Biyombo.
Barnes is in 30?
I'm sorry, and Harrison Barnes is 32, and
Oh,
Barnes. So yeah. So literally all these guys, I can't like these guys are all have great profiles for the rest of their careers too. Charles Bassey, he's a per-minute god. Julian Champagne, he's a do-it-all player. Malachi Branham he can score with the best of them.
Right.
Jeremy Sohan, do-it-all player.
Yeah.
Castle's he can't even drink. Like
Right.
Devin
Yeah.
Vassell has the potential to, knock on to be a borderline all-star when he
He's
hits
showed me a lot last year.
his peak. And then Keldon Johnson, I can't believe Keldon Johnson. I thought he would have been better after
Me
what he
too.
did with FIBA
Mm-hmm.
playing under Pop. And he's still only 25. Are you serious?
Right.
Like these guys can trade the second pick, the 14th pick, and I don't know, maybe one of those 2 or 3 younger guys, whatever, and get the pick.
Yeah.
I'd do it in a heartbeat if I'm the Spurs.
Yeah. Me too.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Especially because that 14 pick could be like a Carter Bryant, the kid I love so much out of Arizona. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot, but I don't know. Like, I would do it if I'm the Spurs, but I don't know why I would do it. If the only reason why I do it if I'm the Mavs is because you'll take Dylan Harper because Kyrie's out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even then, I'm like, because I mean, I don't know. It's hard. I don't know why the Mavs would do it, but I'm with you. I think the Spurs should have a conversation and do it. Like that. That's the all-in move, not Giannis. It's getting Cooper
Yeah.
Flag.
Yeah. Why would the Mavs do it? Why would the Mavs do it? It's just
I yeah.
yeah, I guess it's just to maintain their their future because I don't think they have that many picks, do they?
I don't think they have a pick till 2030
Yeah,
now or
so
2031.
that's why, yeah, for sure. And you're
And the
probably
Luca
gonna
trade, like you're Nico. Are you really trading the number one overall pick that
ex,
just got handed to you for number
yeah,
two?
exactly.
Like you don't want to be that guy again. You're getting death threats for real. Like
I know, man. Yeah, that'd be insane. It's but at least it makes sense in some some world.
right.
But I'm not trading Cooper Flagg. I'm
Yeah.
not trading him. I don't care.
Yeah.
He's
But
going to be far and wide the best player out of this draft. One of the
right.
best players in the past 10, 15 years.
I mean, shout out to the Spurs though. Spurs future. If you're looking at like what Boston used to look like when they were all hella young and OKC, like
With
don't be surprised Spurs are top.
with so many
Right,
assets too.
right. With assets still to trade. Like don't be like what if they're the team that's like, oh, I like Soham, but maybe he's off the bench and we trade for more offense because we have Wemby and go for like a Cam Johnson at the 4. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I mean, these guys, they have so much flexibility. And I mean, payroll wise, I think I don't think they're even in the first apron. Like, they can do so much with financially.
right.
Yeah. They have a loaded deck. They have player assets, they have draft capital, they have financial freedom. These
Yeah,
guys
they
are
can do whatever they
so
want.
they can do whatever they want. Just Greg Popovich, you deserve your spot in the office.
Mm-hmm.
You
All
know,
right. Well,
go crazy, man.
let's move on to our last topic. It's been a long podcast, but let's end it talking about that team behind you, the Los Angeles Lakers, both our favorite teams.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is my first time talking about the Lakers since the Luca trade on the pod, but just going from what we had at the beginning of the season, the expectation, this is it, LeBron and AD. We had D'Angelo Russell, and then trading D'Lo midseason for DFS, and then instantly becoming a better defensive team with AD, and then AD goes out, and we're still balling defensively, and then we beat the Knicks, who are in the West Eastern Conference Finals,
Yeah.
and we trade him for Luca. We trade AD for Luca, and what a crazy season it was. And I didn't think they had a chance. It was a lifeline for sure from Nico Harrison for the Lakers because I don't know what their future looked like post LeBron, but like
Didn't look good.
let's look at what they like. What can they do realistically off season for the off season where because Luca can't sign the extension until August 2nd. How do you make the team look so good by August 2nd, where as soon as it turns 12 a.m., that contract is signed.
You know, I as far as Lakers flexibility goes,
We don't got a
beyond
lot.
yeah, yeah, which is I mean under contract for next season guaranteed already. They have Luca, Rui, Dorian has a player option. Reeves is good and guaranteed. Vincent, Kleber, Dalton Connect, Vanderbilt, and Shake Milton, and Bronny
Right.
James. So yeah, you got pretty much what is that? One, two, three, four, five, six. You got like 8 players on the contract already. It really disheartens me that if Bron, let's say, doesn't leave, the Lakers don't have a lot of like they can't do much. I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
But number one priority is to get a center, obviously, and number two is to get, I think, an athletic wing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Agree.
if I only have enough flexibility and assets, let's say, to get one of those things, I'm getting a center.
Has to be.
And then from there, I think try to focus on re-signing LeBron, I guess.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah. Unfortunately, like if LeBron leaves, we just don't have $52 million open salary, right?
yeah,
You're not getting a lot of Lakers fans, including myself, would love Giannis, right? But you're not getting Giannis unless you're putting Reeves, Finney Smith, Rui, Gabe, and then it's like, well, what's your team look like without all those players? And it's just
yeah,
them three, you know? So it's like it's
a bunch
really
more
what
Jordan Goodwins. Yeah,
you say?
I say there's going to be a bunch more Jordan Goodwins on the team from the G
Right.
League. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's a hard position, but like if I'm looking, yeah, the season didn't end the way we wanted to, but I think there's nothing but good things you could think coming out of it. I mean, I think our future is the clearest it's ever been. Like I remember going into last season and seasons before, it's like,
right.
oh, could we get this center to pair up with AD and like was AD gonna be able to shoot the three ball good enough? Like now I think it's kind
You
of
can get
weird. It's
anybody.
easier to build a team around Luca and LeBron than it is LeBron and AD,
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, centers as a whole, I think are. I want to say they're a little cheaper to get.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the cheapest position to get in the NBA in terms of what you will have to give up asset wise to acquire one. Um, I should have had the list ready of centers that the Lakers could target through trade or through free agency that we
Mm-hmm.
sent out. But your targets are what? Maybe Daniel Gafford,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Turner. I don't know why people are even entertaining this Turner thing. I don't. There's no
Me
way in
either.
hell I think it's happening.
There's no way.
Nick
Turner's been in
Claxton, I
talks for
think.
years.
Yeah, Nick Claxton, I think, is my number one target. I think
I
if the
agree.
Lakers get him, man, I'll be ecstatic. I'll be
I
ecstatic.
love Claxton. I will say the only knock, he's not this 7'1" monster, but he is
Right,
this switchy center that's a lob threat. And beggars can't be choosers sometimes, and
right.
if that's what it takes, you know. I mean, just from a free agency standpoint, Brooke Lopez as a backup, I'm not paying him. You know, he's not a starter,
Lopez, come back, come back.
right? Clint Capella, he could be a backup, right? Miles Turner's staying. Nas Reed's interesting because if we did have enough cap space, I'm like, oh, he's not like the rim protector, but him being also the sixth man in a pick and pop, he's just a talent. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like your team doesn't
He's
get
just
worse
he's just
adding
straight up
Nas Reed.
talent, and JJ loves that 5 out stuff. Loves his 5.
Exactly, as we've seen this year.
Yeah,
So and then you got Steven Adams. I love Steven Adams. I don't think he could play like he did in the playoffs for 82. And we have
no,
to get through 82, you know.
no, yeah, and that's a great point. Like Steven Adams would be a great playoff guy,
Playoff.
but you have to get through the regular season. You need innings eaters.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like yeah. if we could still get like I love Steven Adams if we get the starting center and then still have a guy like Jackson Hayes on the roster, like a third center. That way you're not
Right.
Steven Adams. We need the 25 minutes a night. It's oh Steven Adams tonight. It's a big game. You could play 25. Steven Adams took and then like take a break the other night. You know what I mean?
So I actually found the tweet. So free agency wise, this guy Ralph Mason
Mm, no, bro.
highlighted Clint Capella, Luke Cornett, Brooke Lopez, Kevon Looney, Jericho Sims, who you love, Jackson Hayes, Tristan Thompson, Nick Richards. I guess as the only realistic guys that are free enough to leave. Out of that list, I'm seeing a lot of the same names I've seen this season and continue to see. I don't love any of them as a starter outside of Nick Richards. And even
Mm-hmm.
then, I'm like, you know, how would he do against Gobert? How would he do against Jokic? But at
Mm-hmm.
least he's 7 foot and he's a Jersey guy. So actually, I'm all in now.
Yeah.
And then trade wise, Daniel Gafford, love it. Mark
Love.
Williams,
Yeah.
LOL. Goga Batadze, I actually really like Goga, man. I really do like Goga.
And he's younger too, right?
Yeah, he's young. He can't. He was in the Zion draft. He was in the Zion
Right.
draft, and I don't know if you remember, but he was popular because nobody
The
came to interview
Zion.
him.
Yeah.
No, yeah, nobody came to interview him. And actually,
Yeah.
he came into the league as an offensive guy, and now he's playing for Orlando, 10 and
Yeah.
10, 4 blocks. Great
There you
dude. He
go.
fit in with Luca,
Yeah.
Walker Kessler.
I think that's the dream right there.
That is, yeah. And then Valanciunas, no, Vucevic, Paddle.
That's interesting.
And Paddle's interesting because you can play out of him. He can initiate and he can
How
play
much does he
defense.
make?
I think he's about 20, 25 million.
Let me see.
But remember, people were thinking about trading for him this season too, but
Mhm.
he just didn't fit with AD.
I do like
And then,
Pearl. I do
and
like
then, and then
Jakob.
Nick Claxton. Oh,
So
he,
he's at
he
19.
he makes even
So
less
if
than I
you
thought.
so you do Kleber and Gabe?
You could do like, would you flip Rui for him?
No,
No. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I actually,
Yeah,
wow, Rui I thought Rui made 19. He makes 17.
yeah. I just trust Ruby's playoff 3-point shooting. That's a weird thing to
And
say. It's a
it's
thing that's
not,
been consistent.
dude,
So it's like,
it's not, man. He's really, and his defense, I didn't think he was going to turn into this level of defender. I mean, he's not all world, but
mhm.
he's surviving better than I thought he would have.
And it's
I mean,
hard to be a Laker. Like
yeah.
there's pressure on you. Like and he loves being a Laker. Like I think
Yeah.
it'd
And I
be
think
just
Rob loves that he's one of his success stories.
right. Yeah,
I
for
mean,
real.
yeah, Rob has pride too. Like, who doesn't? Like,
All right.
yeah, you found AR, you resurrect. I mean, and Rob has a streak of since he took over of finding these diamonds in the rough, young
Right.
guys like
I mean,
Shaq.
Kendrick Nunn, who didn't play a whole year, he turned him into a starter. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
So
I could
25.
totally, I could, yeah, I wouldn't mind Pirtle. So I guess my targets, yeah, like Nick
Nick
Claxton, Pirtle.
Claxton, I think I'm with you. His contract, I didn't know was descending. That's interesting because, I mean, yeah, you bite the bull and pay 25, but 23-20, is he the
Well, look, he's
center?
literally Luca's age.
Is that the center of the future? I mean, I think you could be the center for now, for sure, I do think there's ways to get a player like Nick Claxton and then trade for I one of my guys I want them to trade for is Rob Williams. I know he's injury prone, but man, when he's healthy, he's exactly what we need. He's at 13 mil this year. He'll be unrestricted or free agent next year.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's just I mean, back to the athletic guy. I mean, is there a package for Rob in like a Matisse Thybulle? Is there, you know what I mean? Is there
Matisse
like
Thybulle, your NBA lookalike,
me and Twin? Like,
yeah.
I don't
Um,
know.
honestly, I do like that idea. I think that's totally on the table. I would definitely look at it. Matisse, you know, did he not lose his rotation spot this year for the Portland Trailblazers, or am I tripping? And I think Rob,
Did he lose his starting?
I can't remember. I can't remember. I didn't look enough. But
Oh,
honestly, the idea of him is still productive player. Switchy wing. Lakers need that. He'd immediately be our best defender, and Rob would immediately be
43% from three last year.
right. But he played 15 games. I guess he had an injury then.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I feel like what the Lakers need to do, they need to go into the like when they sit down, just Luca might miss 20 games this year. LeBron might miss 20 games this year. Can we be good enough that if they miss 20 games in total, can they still win games? And that's really hard when you have two max players, I know. But you can't be. I think that's what makes Austin Reeves so valuable because he can't. We've seen him take the scoring load. We see him take the playmaking role. I know he
Yeah.
had a bad playoffs. I know, the first thing when someone is bad that we want to trade him, but I think he's still so valuable, and you need
Right.
that.
I mean, yeah, he's got one of the best contracts in the league, and you definitely want to capitalize that on because his next contract is probably going to double. It damn near might double
All right.
what he's making now, if not more, honestly. So you got to take advantage of that. And yeah, you're right. Uh, he kind of fell apart in the playoffs. I think there are some schematic things that I wasn't really like, JJ, what are you doing here? But
All right.
it is what it is that I think kind of nullify what happened. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was too much five out ball, and apparently he had an injury also, right?
But
But
I also saw he didn't get injured till game three. But
right, okay. But I agree. Yeah, I love AR. He's one of my favorite Lakers. I love his story. I do not want to trade him.
all right.
Um, and then yeah, hopefully
What
Rui takes another step forward. I think there's room for that.
I think, but it doesn't even have to be an offensive lead. If he can get like 6 rebounds a game, I think that would, even if we get another big, you know what I mean? Like he's
Right.
6'8", 6'9", like crash the rebound, offense, defense. Like there's been so many times where like I don't think he's averaged 3 rebounds as a Laker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, if he can just continue to be that, I mean, he's entering his prime now. Is the
hmm
27.
hmm
You know, uh, I want to know: are they gonna? Yeah, I can't see them starting Dorian. I still can't see
So
it.
you think we re-sign Dorian?
Absolutely, there's no shot.
Okay,
There's no shot. Luca loves this guy.
all right,
Uh, he makes it easier for him to fit in LA. JJ Redick loves him. He's he unlocks a lot of the Lakers lineup versatility.
exactly.
Um,
Especially if we do get that big, just to be also versatile in the small because our small did work. Like it didn't work in the playoffs because they had to do it for the whole entirety, but it can work, not just for the whole game, you
yeah,
know?
it can work. Yeah, and the way you're successful in this NBA is how many how many lineups can you play? How versatile are you? Can you go big?
Right,
Can you go small? Can you play fast? Can you play slow? Can you blitz the pick and roll? Can you do drop coverage? Can you switch the pick and roll? So
right.
you got to keep guys like this. You know, hopefully Dalton keeps his rotation spot. Maybe Bronny takes another step forward.
I think
You know,
Dalton's traded. They already tried trading him once already. I think Dalton might be traded.
I, I think so too. I really don't believe it. I cannot see ARs get traded, man, unless it's
Yeah,
for like somebody that on this list I didn't name. And those
yeah.
guys, yeah, like
I can't see him getting traded for Gafford. I can't see him getting traded for Claxton. Let me ask you something though. before we get out of here, just when Jared Vanderbilt got to the Lakers, his defensive impact was so superior. And I feel like ever since that ankle issue, it just hasn't been the same. And now credit, let's give him a whole summer where he's healthy and working out, trying to get back to that. But I thought that's why you could get away with playing Vando because his defense was that good. This past season, I just didn't think his defense was that good that he was like not playable, but you know,
Yeah, I also didn't. Honestly, I wish we saw more of him on Ant. I wish we saw more of him on Ant. I also wish that we were able to sign at least Trey Jemison or Koloko, man. Oh my God, please just give me one young center that's just another option, honestly. Because I think either one of those guys can develop into a rotation spot next year. But Vanderbilt at his peak is what? On offense, he's a guy that can play make a little bit. I don't know, maybe run through handoffs and maybe hit a corner three. That's about it. But he's
I mean,
giving
they have him at
you
the dunker spot. He's not Amin Thompson with this
he
43-inch
can't
vertical. You know what I
he
mean? He's not
he
just quick,
he
fast twitch like that.
no,
Like,
he absolutely shrinks. He shrinks unless he's wide open. He's not finishing the play.
right,
He has no finesse around the rim.
right.
Um, like he's got and he's not dangerous dribbling out unless he's on a fast break where he can either he's got an advantage where he can like throw it up a lob or finish it himself. He's extremely limited in the half court. But yeah, on defense, you want him picking up full court. You want him flying over the screens. You want him if he gets beat, he can try to chase from behind and poke the ball up, things like that. I do think that JJ. I guess let's just get into it. Defensively against the Mavs, I was scratching my head a lot. He used one. He used the switch all defense. I think way too much,
Oh,
way too
with the
much
Wolves.
against the Wolves. Yeah, against the
Yeah.
Wolves. And I'm like, dude, you have what was it? I think of in your starting lineup, who was who was matching up with Ant? Wasn't it like AR?
AR started on Ant a lot of the time. Braun, I think, started game two on Ant for a little bit. And then Ant was hunting Rui. Like Rui was the guy guarding Ant a lot of the series. And then if it wasn't Rui, it was obviously Luca.
Yeah. So
So
that I mean, so yeah, so they switched that a lot. And then they like almost immediately put in Dorian after like the first 4 minutes of the game. And
yeah,
then they started doing the switch. I'm like, dude, try just try blitzing. Just try blitzing.
all
Try
right.
picking them up full court a little bit with Vanderbilt. And they actually did that. I think in was it game what was the game that he played the guys
Game four.
for the whole half? Was that game three or game four?
Game four.
Game four. So he didn't start blitzing until it was like 3 minutes left
Mm-hmm.
with Dorian and stuff. I'm like, dude, you should have been doing that more because I
Right.
don't. They're doing it to us all day, and I don't
Right.
understand how Luca isn't killing this
Right.
or LeBron because he's. I thought these are like the most unblitzable players. I'm
Yeah.
like, do it back. See if they can play disadvantage. Make Rudy Gobert be the 4-on-3 decision maker or something. Or maybe Randall can do it. I don't know. Just
Mhm.
try something else. Because no matter who you are, if you make the playoffs, they're gonna figure it out eventually. And we just didn't try anything else.
Yeah.
So I would like him to reevaluate how to use a guy like Vanderbilt. Um, don't give up the switch. Hard
Yeah.
hedge. Hard hedge.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought we
Right.
switched way too easily too.
Yeah, like put Vanderbilt on him and maybe put, I don't know, if you're gonna have the center, put the center in drop coverage, make him chase over the top and hard
Right.
hedge, and then make the center get back. Like Gobert's not gonna kill you from three, and if you're gonna run the Randall stuff, let Randall prove he can shoot a couple times off of a wild pass from Ant. See if Ant can make that clean pass.
Right.
Maybe Ant can't. Maybe Ant's. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I
No,
think
it's
I think
frustrating for sure.
yeah, I think Vanderbilt's value is still in. I know I'm rambling, sorry, but
No,
I
you good.
I think I think there was so much left on the table on defense, and offense don't even get me started. I don't understand. Since you traded for Luca,
Hmm.
you built out these horn sets that look great with
Hmm.
AR, Luca, and LeBron. You barely use them. Then you
Hmm.
started running LeBron off of pin downs, which looked good in in the first round. Then you
Hmm.
stopped using it. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
can we get Luca in the post a little more on Jalen McDaniels?
We went away from who we are and how
I'm
we
like,
got there.
what are we
You
doing?
know?
We're just playing street ball, or just playing pickup ball out here. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, so we keep talking about trading for a center, we trading for this wing player. If it's, I mean, from a tradable contract that like has enough salary without trading your main guys. Shake Milton has a team option this year. We'll probably opt into that if we're trading. But like, if it's to get a center out of like Gabe Vincent and Vanderbilt, who would you want to get traded? Because a lot of people I see want to trade Maxi Kleber, which is cool, right? But I think like fully healthy, a full offseason, I think he's kind of interesting with the small ball stuff we're working with. Like we
I
talked about
absolutely,
how great Nas Reed would be good. Luca and Maxi Kleber just last year in the playoffs were killing
yeah,
it.
I
So
yeah, I totally agree. Totally
I
agree.
kind of want to keep Maxi. Maybe not this number, right? But I would understand if they traded him because he is one of our bigger contracts without trading the Ruiz and the DFSs and the Reeves, you know.
Yeah,
So
I want to keep. I want to keep Maxi because he's a different type of big man. He's 6'10" and he can shoot. So you got positional versatility there,
mhm.
and he makes your small ball lineups a little bit taller. Um,
All right.
and he's experienced. He knows how to play with Luca.
Hmm.
And this guy, I guess, I can't even believe we played him in Game 5. Do you remember that? This guy missed. Are you
I knew it
serious?
was over when he checked in. I was like, oh, it's
I
over
remember
with.
before. I remember seeing a white guy go to the scores table that I didn't recognize. I was like, "Yo, is that Maxi Kleber?" And then it cut. And then they took a TV timeout, and then he didn't come. Then he wasn't in, and
Then he wasn't in, right?
then they said, "Okay, I was like, okay, maybe I was tripping. Maybe I was tripping."
Yeah,
Then they sent him back in. I was like, "Yo,
yeah,
that's Maxi Kleber."
yeah.
Well,
That was just
dude,
yeah. So
but
like
yeah,
in a perfect scenario, out of like let's say Kleber, Vincent, and Vanderbilt to get center what a who let me start by saying this. Who's your number one center you want the Lakers to target? And then which contracts do you think you wouldn't mind seeing to be included in that deal?
yeah. This is when I should have had the NBA trade machine up. Honestly, I guess I probably want I fight back and forth between Claxton, Kessler,
I don't
Pottle.
think Kessler's that available, but I'm with you. I think Kessler's
Yeah,
number two for sure.
yeah, Kessler because he's young and I think he's still on a rookie deal. I don't know if he got extended yet. And did I say Bataza? Yeah, so Bataza, Kessler, Pottle, and Claxton. Pottle's the oldest guy. I think he might be turning 20. I think he's late 20s. I like him because he can play offense, he can finish, he can catch lobs, and he can play
Mm-hmm.
make.
Right.
And he knows how to play within him. So okay, so he's 29.
29.
So he's the most complete player out of all those guys. And like I said, you talk about starter, he can do it, man. And whenever LeBron and AR, I mean Luca don't play, you have another initiator, like a hub that you can play around.
All right.
Honestly, I think I like Batadze and Kessler a little more than Claxton because
Oh,
they're
so you like Batadze more than Claxton?
yeah, I really do like Batadze because to me he proved this season that he he can play 25 to 30 minutes in the regular season, get you a double double, get you a lot of blocks,
Mm-hmm.
high field goals. And he can
Well, you played 70 games too. Wow.
yeah. And remember, he came off the bench. I think he was the third string center.
Yeah.
Then Wendell Carter got hurt, and
Oh God, I
then
would love me some Wendell Carter.
he started over Mo Wagner.
Mm-hmm. I think he
Mo
got
Wagner,
hurt too. Mo Wagner.
The Mo Wagner got hurt.
Mhm.
So you see, he played 70 games and he only started 42. I wish I don't know if you can bring. Oh, he actually does shoot threes. He shoots 10%. Uh, yeah, but I wonder if you can pull up his starter stats. I think his starter stats are about 10 and 10. I just he can shoot free throws a little better than Claxton, I believe.
Hmm.
But
That's a good point.
yeah,
That's something.
yeah. So you can't do like Hacka, you know, Hacka Goga, and
Yeah.
then Kessler's just huge and he can block shots.
Kessler and like the age thing, like I think
Yeah,
like
he's younger than all these guys.
I think Kessler, like all jokes aside, I think if he was on the Lakers with Luca, I think I think he might be an 18 and 12 guy. Like he might be that
Wow,
dominant. Like I
18
think
and
he could
12.
be.
You know,
Well, because here's what I'm thinking. Like the only reason why Gafford and Lively were never that is because they were sharing time. If one of those players ever just got the sole role, I think that's your numbers. I mean, think about it. Like think back to the regular season when the Lakers were dominating. You would look up Jackson Hayes like 15
I know
and
you're
10.
right. 10 and
You know
10.
what I
Yeah,
mean? Like if Jackson
honestly,
Hayes can get 15 and
yeah,
10, I think Walker Kessler get 18 and 12 with
yeah,
defense.
yeah.
I mean, and when I
Yeah,
say defense, I want rim protection. Like
you're right.
rim protection is what I need.
Totally do. And honestly, yeah, he's honestly, I could see it. I could see it. And he's the best offensive rebounder out of all these guys. He's probably the best defensive rebounder too, although Goga might compete with him there.
Right.
Offensively, yeah, I guess
And he
aside
got
from Otto,
2.4
because
blocks for a career.
yeah, man, yeah. So he's got to be number one, right? Would you say he's above Gafford in your opinion too, right?
Yeah, only because of age and because of height. I mean, he's a true. I mean, how tall is he?
And honestly, money too. Like, what is his contract right now? He's got one more year on his rookie, right?
Yeah, I think he might be.
So yeah, so he's cheaper, he's younger, he's taller, he's a
Watch
better
this, bro.
defender. So yeah, actually, yeah, I totally agree. Kessler's got to be number one, but
But
these
is
other
Danny
guys,
Ainge trading Walker Kessler to the Lakers? Probably not, right?
I think he would trade him. I don't know. He definitely hit the Lakers with a Lakers tax
Let,
because
let me ask you a quick question. The offer we gave Mark Williams that we all thought was a little bit of an overpay because we haven't seen it, and Mark Williams isn't near the defensive prowess that Walker is. If you're Rob, do you just call Utah and be like, "Hey, remember that trade we tried doing with the Hornets? Would you do that for Kessler?" And just see what their answer is.
remind me
I
what
do
the
that
offer
trade in
was.
a heartbeat.
Was it Dalton in two firsts?
It was Dalton two. Was it two first or was it one first and the other one was like heavily protected? And then it was Cam Reddish, who's no longer on the team.
Right, who got cut? Um, I, I like it because Kessler is Kessler younger too. He's 23. He's about to be 24. How old is Mark? Unless there might be
Mark Mark might be 22,
he might be 22.
maybe.
He might be 22. Yeah, so they're similar age. Honestly, Dalton for Walker, I, I'm a little more interested if I can get another I'm a little more interested if I get another player out of them. Like I don't know
Right.
who's
Instead
still
of
on
just
that
a
team.
2-for-1.
Yeah, I'm not in love with because I kind of view Dalton as kind of a first. I know Utah liked him.
Me too. Well, and
He-
he is. He fell to the draft. I mean, beginning of last season, everyone was like, "Oh, how did the Lakers get him?" You know what I mean? Like, there was a reason for all that. Like,
Hey, honestly, if you could go back in time, would you draft Kyle Filipowski over him? Another
no,
Duke guy? Would
no,
you do it?
no, not
No,
at 16. Not at 16.
because what didn't he fall to the second round?
Yeah, he fell to the second round. Yeah, I don't think he should have been a second round
But you
prospect, but
wouldn't have
like,
drafted him at 16. I mean, he's 7 foot. He can shoot threes.
I still would have taken Dalton
You still
only
would have taken
because,
Dalton over him.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how. Would this to be the best time to call Danny when he's like emotionally distraught that he fell to 8? It might be. Like he's wrecked. He thought he was getting Ace Bailey, Cooper, DJ Edgecombe. Now he's not getting any of those guys. Maybe this is the best time to call him. Like,
Well, and like another thing to think about, like those teams that we thought that were going to be in the top four, they're not. And if they technically go by best available, like if you're the Jazz and you're the Nets, do
oh,
you
that's
take
right.
him
Ooh,
on Malwalk to do
mile
center,
walk.
right? And then if you have
Yeah.
a surplus at center, might advise them to, hey, one of these centers are up for sale and you don't got to pay a steep price. But there'll always be Lakers tax, but
I'm totally making the call. I'm totally making the call. I'm like, let me get Kessler for Dalton a first. I think that's even right there. I think I'd do that if I'm Utah, honestly. I don't think it's too heavily. I'll probably throw maybe another second or one more pick.
mm,
And then I'll throw in like can I throw in would you swap Rui for Collins? I know you like Collins.
I love Collins.
Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't want to give up. I don't think you can get anything back.
I
Could you
feel
do
like we don't have to put a pick in for Collins because Collins making 26 mil. Like that's a lot of money. Like we're doing you a favor if we're taking on that contract. You know what I mean?
yeah, and
Like
he's got a player option. They don't want him to resign.
this
There's no
year.
shot.
Oh, and he's definitely picking up that player option because he's not getting that
Yeah, and
money.
I'm like, you guys do not want this $26 million player that you bring off the bench when you're trying to for large portions of the season.
Well, and then like I said, if let's say they do come on Mall and they have this surplus. If you trade for John Collins before July 1st, are you like, hey, we'll trade for you. Just decline your option. We'll give you more years instead
Yeah,
of money. And that might be, I mean, he probably declines it because he'd rather have the money. But if I'm him, I'd rather the more years because I think he's a talented player. Like he played it when we played him this year. Like I think I don't know what he had, but
he
I
was draining
remember,
threes, man. He was
yeah, he was
draining
draining
threes.
threes. I think he could be that Derrick Jones Jr. He could be that PJ Washington that Luka used to have, that high flyer. Like I
I
think,
agree.
and then
I agree.
you
Yeah.
could get Kessler. You could do all your shopping at once, and then you look completely different.
Yeah, another thing that killed the Lakers was they had no transition game. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
I I
no.
I like where you're going with this. I definitely think you're gonna have to throw in one of the guys we named, and I think you do it happily. Maybe even throw in two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I mean,
I
Clarkson kind of intrigues me too, because I kind of want like someone that pop off the bench to score instead of just like I love Gabe Vincent for defensive prowess, right? But there's
yeah
times like we only won the game because Gabe hit six threes. So I'm like, what
yeah
if we had more of that instead of the defensive side of it?
yeah absolutely absolutely. I mean, they definitely have some. They got some pieces there, man. Johnny Juzang, he's
No
another.
way they trade him, right?
I don't think. Yeah.
Who's is Taylor Hendricks their first round pick from a couple years ago?
There's no way they trade him either. But
But he's
but
hurt.
yeah, he I think he had ACL, right?
Is he good though? Like, is he projected?
He's like a Vanderbilt type of guy, but he's taller. He's
Oh
taller.
wow.
He's a
Like a
defensive.
Isaac, like a Jonathan
Yeah,
Isaac type.
Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac is better. Yeah, Jonathan Isaac. So he would be good. I'm not. I wouldn't give him up if I'm Utah.
You just write him out. Pause.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would. I would. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna reconvene. We've been out here long enough. Um,
Absolutely.
good chatting. I think we got a lot out. I think this was a good first go around for sure. So
Man, finally got a pot in, man.
yeah, that's gonna be dope. Y'all like and subscribe. And yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.